You know how you always say that?
Yeah, I always say that. I was in confidence. Disney announced that they'll be making 2 more sequels to Frozen. But by the time they come out, the only thing frozen will be Elsa's eggs. She wants a career.
This year, Caitlin Clark broke the record for three-pointers in a single season. And I have 3 pointers for Michael Che. 1B, 2 funnier, 3 dumbass. Working on it all.
Really good. An elementary school teacher in Wisconsin was arrested after she allegedly made out with one of her 5th grade students just months before her wedding, which is why you should never have your bachelorette party at Chuck E. Cheese. It was reported that MSNBC studios in 30 Rock have been infested with bed bugs. For more on this story, everybody look under your seats. There was actually an error in the LA Times obituary for O.J. Simpson. In the section about his prison time, instead of writing O.J. walked out of the Lovelock Correctional Center, they wrote,
Senate Republicans lined up to shake Kristen Sinema's hand after she voted against changing the filibuster to pass voting rights. Ah, the U.S. Senate, keeping black folks down with a quiet handshake since 1787.
A racehorse in Ohio, which had won a race earlier in the day, later tested positive for meth. Ohio, where you have to test horses for meth.
The oldest living person in the United States died this week at the age of 115. It's a powerful reminder to always test your cocaine for fentanyl. 2 British museums announced that they will return gold and silver artifacts that were looted 150 years ago from Ghana. Unfortunately, there's still nothing they can do about the people looted from Ghana. There is growing interest in man camps where men try to reclaim their masculinity by attending military-style boot camps and getting berated by drill instructors. But then at night, big gay orgy.
A Disneyland guest was arrested for stripping off his clothes and walking around nude on It's a Small World, which is the all-time worst answer to the question, so what are you in for? Ramaswamy then criticized rival Nikki Haley's daughter for having a TikTok account. He also stressed that it's not important how he knows her daughter has a TikTok account. Then Nikki Haley responded to the attack by saying, "Leave my daughter out of your voice," which was pulled directly from the Japanese subtitles of the Will Smith slap. Dwayne Johnson said that a skull of a T-Rex seen behind him during a recent interview was a replica and not the real thing. Johnson also said it's just a coincidence that his diet calls for 1,000 pounds of dinosaur meat a day.
Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign got a major boost after Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds endorsed him. Also giving DeSantis a lift, his leather hooker boots.
Yesterday it was announced that Mike Pence will lead Trump's transition team, which is weird because normally when people transition, Pence sends them to conversion therapy.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have signed two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani to a 10-year contract worth $700 million, which is almost as much as his sister on OnlyFans, Shofeet Ohtani. I thought that was a real smart joke. McDonald's has announced a new spin-off restaurant called Cosmix. It's exactly like regular McDonald's, except that at Cosmix, the mascot is, oh no, Cosby McDonald?
Mitch McConnell, seen here walking out of a theater after watching 12 Years a Slave, announced he will step down in November. He'll be replaced by the current number 2 Republican in the Senate, a frozen embryo holding an assault rifle. Mostly the same, but Trump's version ends with Jesus' disciples storming Jerusalem to overturn the results of the crucifixion. Trump also posted this video urging his followers to buy it.
All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many.
President Trump denied claims that he uses racial slurs in private. And in Trump's defense, I think a lot of times people just assume Trump is being racist because the way he says any word makes it sound like a racial slur. Take a listen to these.
Puerto Rico. Jewish people.
The media.
Mexican.
Woman.
China.
Blacks. Obama. Merry Christmas.
Melania.
President Trump was acquitted in his Senate trial this week, and Democrats are calling it a cover-up. But does this look like a guy who can pull off a cover-up? Oh my God, it's like the day at the nursing home when they let the residents put their own makeup on. Trump's Buttigieg's campaign has released a viral dance video set to Panic at the Disco's High Hopes. It's all part of Mayor Pete's strategy to get a negative percentage of the black vote. A teacher resigned after she talked in class about programming robots to shoot and kill students. Her resignation should give her more time at home to work on her army of killer robots. A Mexican woman, thought to be the oldest person in the world, reportedly turned 127 on Sunday. Despite her age, she said she's still living la vida kill me.
The new Star Wars surprised fans by featuring a gay kiss, which seems pretty tame considering the first movie had incest.
A man in California was kicked off a JetBlue flight after bringing his pet possum onto the plane. While at Spirit Airlines, that's what falls down when you need an oxygen mask. Well, archaeologists in Egypt have discovered a 2,000-year-old gymnasium, which featured a workout room, a racetrack, and based on my experience in gyms, the remains of an old man blow-drying his testicles.
The New York Daily News published an editorial calling for New York to legalize marijuana, saying that the current laws primarily hurt people of color. But since it is the Daily News, the headline read, "Pot cigs catch nigs."
I'm worried about this one now. An auction of Nazi memorabilia was held, which featured items such as Hitler's top hat and Eva Braun's dress. And it's tough to auction off Nazi memorabilia because everyone always looks like they're bidding. Thank you. Some applause.
I liked it. Negative gender stereotypes keeps boys from reading. And I was going to read more on this study, but what am I, gay?
Relatives of an 11-year-old boy in England were fined after they got fed up with a boy playing Grand Theft Auto too much and let him drive a real car. Also fed up, the prostitutes he tried to run over. Hidden Valley is now selling a 5-liter keg filled with ranch dressing, though the keg will only be sold in states that allow assisted suicide.
A new study finds that sheep have the ability to recognize faces. So remember, farmers, always hit it from the back. O.J. Simpson's parole.
IHOP has opened a new casual version of their restaurant called Flipped. Because who hasn't walked into a regular IHOP and thought, well, this is just way too formal?
The group 1 Million Moms is boycotting the Hallmark Channel for airing a commercial featuring a same-sex couple getting married and kissing. Ladies, relax. If your kid is watching the Hallmark Channel, he already gay as hell.
Congress has passed a temporary extension that will prevent a government shutdown this weekend. So for now, a government shutdown is just when a woman tells a senator to pull his pants back up. Then you'll like this. 3 members of Congress resigned this week after allegations of sexual misconduct. And you know what that means. Time to open 3 more doors on our sexual harassment-themed Advent calendar. A popular porn website has suffered a massive data breach that exposed users' identities and credit card numbers. Wait, which porn site? Said your husband just now. The Scripps National Spelling Bee has announced a change to next year's contest after this year's Spelling Bee ended in an 8-way tie. The new change? Knives. A shepherd in Germany has discovered a rare Geep, which is a sheep-goat hybrid. It's believed to be the first sheep-goat hybrid to be discovered since Kid Rock. What?
I mean, if I were trying to prove the superiority of the Aryan race, I wouldn't use Stephen Miller's face. I'd use yours.
Yeah, you don't have to make that point.
Don,
I mean,
do a split screen of Colin and Stephen Miller for 1 second.
You don't have to do that.
Okay. Now, audience, by a round of applause, who do you think Hitler would want to be friends with? Dennis Rodman is claiming that a letter he sent to his friend Kim Jong-un helped free American aid worker Kenneth Bae from a North Korean prison. The letter read simply, Bae, free Bae, love Bae.
MTV has launched a spin-off of its hit Jersey Shore series set on the coast of Alabama and Florida called Florabama Shore, where the cast members can contract gonorrhea. A mom in Wisconsin told police that she found a packet of meth in her child's Halloween candy, right after police asked her why she was raking the leaves naked at midnight. You're gonna get me murdered. Well, this is a terrible transition. This week, Alabama passed a near-total ban on abortion.
According to a new report, in 257 years, women around the world will be paid the same as men. So stop complaining. In a recent commercial, Planters Peanuts announced that the company mascot, Mr. Peanut, has died. In accordance with his wishes, he has been cremated. The New York City Commission on Monuments has decided that statues of controversial historical figures such as Christopher Columbus will not be torn down because it's just not what we care about this week.
General Motors announced that it's making a line of self-driving cars that has no steering wheel, no gas or brake pedals, no windows, and it's a coffin. A British cafe has introduced a new breakfast called the Hibernator, which is 8,000 calories and contains bacon, sausage, cheese omelets, waffles, toast, black pudding, and beans. And if you're able to finish the entire thing, they'll even make a plaque with your name on it. Police in Philadelphia are investigating claims that Flyers mascot Gritty punched a 13-year-old boy in the back. But I just can't picture Gritty doing something like that. I mean, look at him. He wouldn't punch a kid in the back. He's more of a leap out of the shadows and stick you with a syringe kind of guy, you know?
South Dakota's governor is defending a new anti-meth campaign which features the tagline, "Meth, we're on it," which isn't as bad as North Dakota's ad campaign, "Cocaine, we cracked it."
The maker of M&M's announced a new vegan chocolate candy made with a plant-based alternative. So I guess the real news here is that apparently regular M&M's are made with meat.
M&M's, we have the meat.
Family in Florida was sickened recently after buying steaks from Walmart that were allegedly laced with LSD. They described them as the best tasting steaks their ears had ever seen.
The restroom at Pennsylvania's Longwood Gardens, which is built into a wall of plants, has been named America's best restroom. It was also named America's most disgusting garden.
President Trump held a press conference today to educate the public about the coronavirus, but I'm not sure it worked because, according to a new survey, 38% of Americans say they won't drink Corona beer because it sounds like coronavirus, while the rest won't drink it because it tastes like syphilis. A group of people in England are organizing a Star Wars-themed orgy which is just an orgy where you find out the guy in the mask is actually your father. A new study finds that marijuana resin sold on the streets of Madrid contains a dangerous amount of fecal matter, begging the question, what's a good amount? A new plane that features windows in the bathrooms. Unfortunately, they face into the cabin. The idea is to keep it fun, light. No one's going to get canceled. No one's families are going to get threatened. You know, have fun.
Sure, we'll see. Well, why don't you go first? Doctors in Iowa have confirmed a dog disease that can be passed on to humans. Fine, I'll wear a condom. That's fine.
An obese monkey in Thailand named Godzilla has been sent to a special facility to lose weight. Officials realized the monkey was overweight when a bunch of black guys kept hitting on it.
That's pretty racist.
You're gonna get me murdered. Oh, God. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari, for the first time, denied months-old rumors that he had died and been replaced by a look-alike from Sudan. See, even Africans can't tell black people.
It's just that it's very complicated.
It's kind of like how you feel about Colin Jost.
Oh, no. I love Colin.
I will say that. In a offensive way, you know?
Never had sex with me, you might have the cure for cancer. A 96-year-old German woman who was a secretary at a Nazi concentration camp has been released from detention. She is now safely in the custody of her grandson. What's up,
Hey, Michael, wait. What are you doing?
An update feature. Wow. So this is SNL.
And Grandma, if you're watching, go to bed. A new report finds that as people move into formerly wild areas of Africa, human activity is disrupting chimpanzee culture. Incidentally, chimpanzee culture is also what my grandpa calls hip-hop. Why?
I wouldn't have said that. Do a split screen of Colin and Stephen Miller for 1 second.
You don't have to do that.
Okay. Now, audience, by a round of applause, who do you think Hitler would want to be friends with? Stephen Miller or Colin Nixon Jost?
That's not my middle name. A substitute teacher in North Carolina has resigned after she reportedly told a class of elementary students that Martin Luther King Jr. killed himself. In her defense, he is the one who decided to keep running his mouth. Why? A church in Massachusetts has created a nativity scene that comments on the immigration debate by placing the baby Jesus in a cage, where he belongs.
A new report shows that Hurricane Florence was the wettest in history. The previous record for wetness was set on the opening night of Magic Mike. Pope Francis ended a Vatican summit by promising the Catholic Church would confront the clergy sex abuse head on, instead of their usual way, face down, ass up. Is opening a pop-up vaccine site in a strip club, and don't worry, the strippers say the vaccine is a lot like Michael Che. Very quick, and you can barely feel it go in.
I know that we've had a lot of fun with me reading racist jokes that Michael writes for me, but because our country is already divided enough, I'd like to use my platform to say something that everyone of all races can agree on. Woody Allen is innocent. nothing wrong.
Police are being investigated after video surfaced of them using excessive force on a homeless black man accused of urinating in public. But I say great work keeping our streets clean, boys. Yes, sir. Anything the police do is all right with old Mikey Che.
Warner Brothers is producing a new movie in which Superman is black. And a black Superman actually makes a lot of sense when you remember that Superman was abandoned by his parents as a baby.
I know I'm probably the only black man brave enough to say this on live TV, but blue lives matter even more. Pretty insane that a major city is about to completely run out of water in 2 months, and I'm just now hearing about this. It's kind of embarrassing. I feel like I should care more about Africa. Kind of like when you run into an old friend and ask, "Hey, how's your kid?" And she's like, "Che, he's your son too."
Well, I knew you'd like that one, so here's another one. Before I go, I just thought of another punchline for that black Superman story. Warner Brothers is producing a new movie in which Superman is black. In this version, black Superman's kryptonite is an honest day's work.
Really doubling down on black Superman.
Black Superman will be referred to as the Man of Steel, spelled S-T-E-A-L.
I'm Jimmy Fallon. Tina Fey has here tonight's top stories. Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon arrived in Washington Sunday night to give President Bush a 91-page book proving that Yasser Arafat funded terrorists. White House sources say President Bush has the book and is almost done coloring it.
A scientist for the Wildlife Conservation Society is the first person to ever discover homosexual behavior in wild orangutans. When asked exactly how he discovered the homosexual behavior, the scientist got really quiet.
MSNBC reporter Ashley Banfield, now in Pakistan covering events there, has cut her hair short and dyed it brown in order to go unnoticed in the male-dominated country. Take it from me, Ashley. If you think having brown hair and glasses will keep men from noticing you, you are right.
This week, Reverend Jesse Jackson called for a nationwide Halloween boycott, saying that instead of trick-or-treating, we should spend the night with our families. No word yet on which of his families Jackson was referring to.
2 days before Britney Spears' HBO concert from Las Vegas, someone broke into her dressing room and stole the white Elvis-inspired rhinestone jumpsuit that she wore to promote the event. And you know what? I'm not giving it back. Keep it now. It's mine.
Friends star Jennifer Aniston suffered minor injuries after getting into a car accident in Hollywood. The other driver had his car totaled, but on the upside, he gets to tell his friends he rear-ended Jennifer Aniston. Oh, snap! 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 Oh, snap!
This week, Chelsea Clinton was spotted at a Donatella Versace party dancing provocatively with her boyfriend, Ian Klaus. Not to be outdone, the Bush daughters have set up a meth lab.
Stevie Wonder is being sued for over $40 million by an ex-girlfriend who claims the singer agreed to support her after he gave her genital herpes. In response, Stevie said, "I've never seen that woman before in my life."
A 32-year-old Filipino farmer sliced his genitals off with a machete in a fit of religious fervor because he believed his penis was leading him to sin. In a follow-up to this story, he was right, and it worked.
Makers of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone say they had to hire a voice double for the movie's star, Daniel Radcliffe, after his voice began to change during filming. This explains the title of the sequel, Harry Potter and His Astonishing Pubic Hair.
This week, President Bush was quoted as saying, "Not over my dead body will they raise your taxes," which reminded many of when his father said, "Read my lips, no new taxes," which at the time reminded everyone of when his father said, "Say, taxes are bad, see?" which reminded people of when his great-grandfather said, "Observe my masticator, I shall abide no new tariffs." Of course, all of these are just derivative of when George Bush dinosaur said,
In a small town in Germany this week, a man who was so drunk he couldn't walk was stopped by police after borrowing his father's electric wheelchair to go buy more liquor. He may be under arrest, but he still gets our Winners Never Quit award.
Geraldo Rivera will leave his CNBC talk show to go to Afghanistan as a war correspondent for Fox News, which raises an interesting ethical question. Do we have to act sad if Geraldo dies?
This week, a professional clown from Saugerties, New York. Guys, way early on that one. I'm telling you, we got to rehearse this, all right? Wait for the punchline, okay? God. I mean, the punchline is he got hit in the face with a pie. So, I wasn't saying the punchline. I was doing the... You know what? Let's just start over, okay? Let's start right over. Okay, this week, there's a man in Saugerties, New York. Forget it. Back to you, Tina. Forget it.
A London newspaper is reporting that Sean Puffy Combs has hired a proper English butler named Farnsworth. So far, it's working out great, except that every time Puffy comes home, the butler instinctively calls the police.
A new study shows that the Dead Sea is dropping at a rate of 2.5 inches a year. Also dropping at a rate of 2.5 inches a year, Martin Landau's testicles.
The Victoria's Secret fashion show was televised Thursday night on ABC. The fashion show featured the Heavenly Star bra, which cost $2.5 million, with matching diamond-encrusted thong panties for $750,000. Thanks, Victoria's Secret, but the only way I'm putting $750,000 worth of diamonds in my ass is if the Nazis are coming.
On Thursday, Rhode Island Senate unanimously passed the bill to issue license plates honoring the 50th birthday of Mr. Potato Head. Then on Friday, Rhode Island State unanimously passed a bill prohibiting them from passing bills when everyone is drunk. Unanimously.
Unanimously.
Thank you.
Attorney General John Ashcroft issued a terrorism warning asking all Americans to be on high alert this week. I think I speak for all Americans when I say, bitch, I can't be any more alert. I'm opening my mail with salad tongs. I take my passport in the shower with me. Right? I'm watching so much CNN, I'm having sex dreams about Wolf Blitzer. How about you be on full alert? I'm going to freeze my head like Walt Disney, and then you can wake me up when everything's cool, okay?
Snoop Dogg is predicting that GM stock will go up with the introduction of his limited edition Snoop DeVille sedan. Especially since it was named Best New Citizen of the Yism by Sizzin' and Drizzin' Magazine.
According to statistics released by the American Society of Plastic Surgery, last year surgeons performed over 389,000 nose jobs, 133,000 facelifts, and 212,000 breast augmentations. And it still doesn't look right.
You did.
No, you didn't.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Uh-oh. I think the robot Tina broke down. Maintenance? Chris? I think the battery went... Can we get another robot Tina? Thanks.
Dick Cheney appeared at his birthday party Wednesday with a bruised lip after one of his dogs bumped into his mouth while playing. What is up with this administration? Cheney's got a bruised lip. Bush has a huge scrape on his face. Ashcroft has burn marks all over him. But tell the truth. Do you guys have a fight club? I think there's a White House Fight Club.
Tina, you know the first rule of White House Fight Club.
I know. Don't talk about White House Fight Club.
Yeah. Hoping to get people to start going to museums again, New York City has announced a new ad campaign called I Love New York Culture. But if they want me to start going to museums again, they should call the campaign, Sorry We Yelled at You for Touching Stuff, Jimmy Fallon.
In women's health news, the FDA announced that it has approved NuvaRing, a new highly effective birth control device for women. NuvaRing is 2 inches long and releases a continuous low dose of estrogen, just like Michael Jackson's penis.
Kiss for luck, little Jimmy Fallon. Maggie Smith should shave. Does this mean I'm knighted? Or did I just get queened? No?
Police in India have arrested a man for threatening to kill a tiger he believes is his lover from a past life. Well, at least he only wants to kill it.
It was revealed in a London tabloid last week that Donald Trump has plans to buy a parachute in case he ever has to jump out of one of his buildings. Either that or he plans to grab his comb over and Mary Poppins his way down the 80th floor.
Earlier this week, the LA Police Department searched the home of Paul Rubens, better known as Pee Wee Herman, and confiscated his collection of vintage erotica. So let me understand this. Now Pee Wee Herman can't even masturbate in his own house? Where would America be comfortable with Pee Wee masturbating? Do you want him to go to a sterile room in a hospital or like the space shuttle? Or should he buy a mobile home and bury it under the ground?
Earlier this week, a man shot himself while inside St. Patrick's Cathedral. When asked to comment, church spokesman Father Robertson said, "Girl, it's a scandal."
Just tell us and we'll pass the information on to him, because if there's one thing I've learned from working with all of these guys, he's not going to stop doing it. Right? They do it, right? It's true. Men masturbate all the time. Right, Jimmy? Back to you.
Rarely, if ever. According to FBI documents, O.J. Simpson has allegedly been letting a drug dealer stay in his guest house and drive his children to school. In his defense, O.J. points out that if the drug dealer didn't drive the kids to school, they'd have to ride with the murderer.
You're surprised that dude's a murderer? Researchers have been able to teach sparrows how to differentiate one language from another. Experts say this is a giant step towards their goal of teaching birds racism.
Experts say that satellite images show that part of central London are sinking up to 5 millimeters a year. Also sinking up to 5 millimeters a year, Martin Landau's testicles. The Weekend Update, I'm Jimmy Fallon.
I'm Tina Fey. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
And yes, it is true, Michael Jackson is going to be a father. Already he has hired an entire staff of nannies, nurses, and extra bodyguards, which hopefully will protect the child from Michael Jackson.
March is Women's History Month, so ladies, that cake is not going to bake itself. Before you ladies get angry and send a bunch of messages about how sexist that joke is, let me just remind you to finish baking that cake.
A new study suggests that heavier women get paid less than thinner women. That is, unless Che's at the strip club.
They say black guys don't tip.
In Virginia, police are looking for a stripper who stabbed a man for telling her she was too fat to strip. Police warn that the woman is armed and extremely fat.
Police in California are searching for the person who broke into a woman's house and stole a box containing her late husband's ashes. It's like they always say, no matter what, some bitch is always trying to take your man.
In Detroit, under a new prison rehabilitation program called Fresh Start, employers will get a tax break if they hire an ex-convict. Employers who hire more than one ex-convict will get robbed and killed.
According to the adult website Pornhub, the most searched for term in 30 of the 50 states was lesbian. But keep in mind, Michael travels a lot.
Lonely on the road. Police in South Carolina arrested 3 women in bikinis who were beating up another woman. Said police. All right, break it up. That's enough.
In a recent interview, Christy Brinkley suggested that football players should have special gloves connected to lights on their helmets. That way, when they catch the ball, you'll know who has possession. Read these and other interesting ideas in Christy's new book, I'm an Idiot.
Subway sandwich spokesman Jared Fogle, who pleaded guilty to having sex with minors, was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Fogle said he was just happy to get anything under 18.
How did you think that was going to end? A British sex toy company has constructed a private booth in New York City for men to masturbate in. Good, because I'm getting tired of doing it in Colin's office.
What?
I'm kidding, man. I would never get tired of masturbating in your office.
Come on, man. I sleep in there.
The New York City Transit Authority plans to put up signs in subway stations asking city residents to be more polite when getting on and off the subway. Most New Yorkers say the idea sounds great and that the new signs will make excellent urinals.
California is considering a new law that would fine actors in pornographic movies up to $70,000 if they don't wear condoms, said the porn industry. Oh, yeah? And what are you going to do to us if we don't have the money?
The October issue of Penthouse, now on newsstands, contains a picture billed as, quote, the alien, the world's first authentic photograph. A survey of Penthouse readers finds that 60% think the photo's a fake, while only 40% think it's real. All 100%, however, found it, quote, surprisingly easy to masturbate to.
A new study finds that nearly half of non-smoking teenagers in the U.S. are exposed to secondhand smoke, while the other half don't have stepdads.
A French government survey finds that Disneyland Paris is the most popular tourist attraction in the country. And the most popular ride? Women who don't shave their armpits of the Caribbean.
After just 3 months in prison, former Subway spokesman Jared Fogle has already gained 30 pounds. But that's what happens when your portions stop being child size. Oh, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah. Oregon police arrested a man who tried to steal a 2-foot-long python from a pet store by stuffing it down his pants. Yeah, said the man, I'll give you a hint about which snake in my pants is bigger. It's the one that just bit my penis.
The L.A. District Attorney's Office has given Marsha Clark and Christopher Darden bonuses of over $10,000 for, quote, lengthy hard time duty, unquote, in the O.J. Simpson case. A spokesman for the DA said that the prosecutor's bonuses would have been even higher, except for the fact that they let a killer go free.
Burger King has introduced a Halloween-themed burger that has a black bun. Oh, sure, but when I turn black for Halloween, I'm setting back race relations.
I begged you not to do that.
In what is considered a remarkably short period of time, the head of the Federal Advisory Board, Dr. Peter Mellman, has given speedy approval to a controversial new anti-obesity drug. It should be noted, however, Dr. Melman's wife is a fat pig.
A new survey lists the most romantic city in the country as Alexandria, Virginia, while the least romantic city is once again Flu Farts, Ohio.
A man in Brazil says that a penguin he rescued 5 years ago swims more than 5,000 miles every year just to visit him. That's how good the sex is.
Finally in the news, what is America's most honest city? To find out, a team of sociologists left 10 wallets filled with cash on the street in various urban centers. In Atlanta, 7 of the wallets were returned. In Seattle, 9 of the wallets were returned. But not surprisingly, in New York City, only 1 of the wallets was returned. Empty and shoved up some dead guy's ass.
There's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. Oh, I wish that you would come around. No, and all the things that you just couldn't count. Know how much
He brought his struggling presidential campaign to New Jersey, vowing, in his words, to prove Yogi Berra was right when he said, "It ain't over till it's over." Reached for comment, Yogi Berra said, "It's over."
You can't have whatever you want, all right? I know the forefathers said you have the right to own a gun, but they also said you could own people. Which, by the way, if I owned a whole field of jacked Africans, I'd probably want a dozen or so guns too.
Against the Jets last week, Buffalo Bills running back Thurman Thomas broke O.J. Simpson's career rushing record, and the week before, he surpassed Simpson in career touchdowns. Next up for Thomas, an attempt to kill 3 people at once.
A new study suggests that house cats share similar personality traits with African lions, and if they were bigger, they would kill their owners, instead of just waiting for them to die of loneliness.
Doctors have discovered that deer hunters are at an unusually high risk for stress-related heart attacks. Also at high risk for stress-related heart attacks, deer.
A Florida woman found a missing cat from Wisconsin which had wandered nearly 1,500 miles over 2 months. Or, and hear me out, sometimes cats look like other cats.
A team of doctors will soon perform a surgery that uses muscle and skin from a man's arm to give him a new penis, which he was born without. And before the man with no penis goes into surgery, let me just say this. Good luck, Colin. Now that's not...
A female prostitute who was mistaken for a man spent 15 hours in the men's jail in Denver, where she had consensual sex with 2 male prisoners, making that the first time anyone at any time in any prison ever has ever had consensual sex.
A new report says the best place in the world for retirees is Switzerland, while the worst place for retirees is still at the top of a staircase.
Walmart stores have banned singer Sheryl Crow's latest album because of a lyric in one of her songs that says, quote, "Walmart sells guns to children." Oddly, the store made no objection to another lyric in the song, quote, "Walmart sells crap."
Hellmann's has announced that it is releasing an eggless vegan version of its mayonnaise. Hellmann's is calling the product Colin.
It's his month.
Oh, man.
Happy birthday to Mitt Romney, who today turns 69, which for Mormons is a sin.
Simpson had been discussing marriage with girlfriend Paula Barbieri, but reportedly she has called the wedding off. Her fear was that if they married, she would be brutally murdered. And then someone would try to pin it on OJ.
A nurse in New York State has lost her license after she was convicted of taking a picture of an unconscious patient's penis with her phone. Though, in her defense, it was a pretty hilarious use of face swap. Look at it all.
In economic news, the Mexican peso yesterday sank to an all-time low as it showed up drunk to a family reunion and hit on its cousin, the centavo.
Stormy Daniels testified that during their encounter, Donald Trump did not wear a condom. He tried to put one on, but he was blocked by his tie. Stormy Daniels testified in Donald Trump's hush money trial and was asked to list some of the movies that she's worked on. After she finished, the judge banged the gavel and open oral arguments were the names of the movies. Oh, man, that was a good joke. Officials at Columbia University complained that protesters broke windows and destroyed school property. But so what? College kids also do that when they win the Final Four. Also, you're a university. If you really don't want students to freak out, stop telling them the truth. That's my advice for school and relationships.
It's a nice place. At a White House ceremony honoring the WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces, President Biden mistakenly called player Candace Parker one of the greatest all-time coaches. Worse, he thought...
Israeli officials are reportedly furious after the U.S. withheld a shipment of weapons. But yes, sometimes people get angry at their intervention. All right, President Biden on Tuesday issued a call to fight hate against anti-Semitism, saying there is no place for it in America. But on the other hand, Collins Country Club. In court with them. But that's not true. What about all those cops?
Oh my God. A group of geneticists have announced plans to bring back the dodo and reintroduce it to Africa. And if you ask me, I can think of at least one dodo I'd like to reintroduce to Africa.
Should not be called in to deal with campus protests, but I'm just happy that he's finally not sending military aid somewhere. That was my best joke, Colin.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said next week she will force a vote to oust House Speaker Mike Johnson. And if there's one thing I bet she's amazing at, it's...
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who revealed this week that he had a parasitic brainworm, posted on X, "I offered to eat 5 more brainworms and still beat President Trump and President Biden in a debate," which is such an insane thing to probably be right about.
A museum in France is using an AI-generated version of Vincent van Gogh to answer visitors' questions about his paintings. Unfortunately, the AI keeps responding to questions with, "What?"
Kim Kardashian wore to the Met Gala had such a tight waist that it seemed like it was crushing her organs. But I already watched her organs get crushed by Ray J. I don't think that's going to make the show.
I think it did. I think someone screamed.
Melania Trump made a rare public appearance when she attended the funeral of former First Lady Rosalind Carter, who died at the age of 96. Melania said that she was deeply saddened to be reminded that your partner can live that long. Elon Musk met with Benjamin Netanyahu this week and agreed that Israel must destroy Hamas. And I think Musk could destroy Hamas almost instantly by becoming their CEO. A doctor from Singapore has gone viral with a video telling people that they can get relief from constipation by sitting on the toilet cross-legged. So that's what they mean when they say crisscross applesauce. I get it now.
Oh, no. A new census report shows that by the end of the year 2060, 1 out of every 4 Americans will be Latino. That's how good Bad Bunny's music is. If you're here, who's